Well, my brother went to an auction sale yesterday, and he brought this home for me, though I wasn't particularly looking for it. It's a, well, they're a YL1 Yamaha. And it's in tough shape, but there is a lot of usable parts on it. These were known as the Twin Jet 100 because it's a two-cylinder 100cc two-stroke. You know, little, but quite a screamer at the time. I've never been fond of two-stroke street bikes, though the first motorcycle I owned was a Yamaha YDS3, which was a 250 twin. And if I ever run across one of them, I guess I'd pick it up just from, nostalgia. But there are a lot of good parts on this one. And if I come across another one, between the two, I could maybe make one. For, I think he paid $30 for it. And you could easily get your $30 worth. I mean, even, like, say the exhaust system on this is in good shape, which is, a rarity on these old bikes. So there's potential there. Ugly motorcycle. They got a weird shape to that gas tank that, well, they were all doing it back then, where they were narrow in the front and wide in the back, and put your little rubber knee pads on there. I'm just missing a seat, which could be a problem. But if I could find one with a good seat pan, it's doable. I think they sold a lot of them. They were made to compete with the Honda 90. And they were faster than the Honda 90, two-stroke, twin-cylinder. You could really wind them out. And it does have the automatic oiling. Yeah. For $30, yeah. You can't pass up something like that because you can part it out and make that back. But I'm going to have to check. I know Airbo's got some old two-strokes Yamahas in a pig barn. We'll see what he's got. Maybe he's got a Twin Jet, because I think they sold quite a few of them. But like say here where the body and the fenders, it's all one stamped piece. Well, that's in pretty good shape. Even a swing arm, a stamped swing arm. Makes them light, makes them strong, but down the road they usually rust apart. But like I say, this one isn't in too bad a shape. Though the motor's stuck on it, I'll have to pull the head off just to see. You would think it would be all scored up, but you never know. It could be just from sitting. But it's easy enough to pull the heads off and just take a look at it. But the reason my brother went to that sale is they had listed a 305 Scrambler, a Honda. Now, I used to have one of them, he used to have one of them, and he'd really like to get one back. Well, it turned out, they're really collectible now, the 305 Scramblers. But what they had wasn't a Scrambler, it was a 305 Super Hawk, which are also collectible. They were kind of, when Honda was making their 305s, like I said, they had the Scrambler, they had the Dream, which is a kind of a clunky touring machine, and then they had the Super Hawk, which was kind of their sport bike. And it was one of the first that would do 100 miles an hour reliably. And that's in pretty good shape. I think he paid $500 for that. But I think we got a runner there. I think we can get that one going. But they're different, but it's fairly complete, which is, it's got the side covers and the seat, and the exhaust, the mufflers aren't the original. But they don't look too bad what they put on there. And the motor will crank over, though the electric start has some kind of a problem in the drive that he's going to tear apart and see what that is. They do have a kickstart available on them, but if anybody's familiar with them, they're the old where you kick them forward. You know, the kickstart goes forward, which is an awkward thing and hardly turns the motor over. So electric start would be the way to go. But new enough to be a 12-volt system. Yeah, god darn these. Well, even that Super Hawk, they're kind of ugly, but they're charming in their own way. You know, but it's funny, where here they use a stamped frame, and then they have the one bolt-on down tube to stabilize it. But I think these things could wrap out pretty well. But I think even that Super Hawk, I think that's a high RPM motor too. You know, they knew how to balance that stuff back then. You know, Honda was great at that. And Yamaha. The Japanese, they really could make a very good bike compared to what was available on the market at that time. You know, this is in the late 60s. You were getting weird Italian things, some of them here. Some weird Spanish ones. You know, there's all kinds of bikes, but for your money, the Hondas and the Yamahas, they were a bargain. Yeah, she might be. You know, the tank ain't dented up. It's a little scratched, but like that stamped frame is in pretty good shape. We'll see. You know, I'll think about that some. What I'm going to do is I'd see what the neighbors got for, because like I say, I'd sooner have the white ES3. You know, the 2-cylinder. I'm not that fond of two-cycle street bikes, though. They scream, but they're just not pleasant to drive. They're exciting to drive, but sometimes you really don't want a lot of excitement. You just want to be able to drive. Though this has got like 10,000 miles on it, so somebody drove it. She is ugly, though. I mean, even with the seat, you know, the gas tank, you'd swear, you look at it, you think that's got to be on backwards, but that's how they go. You know, they're just ugly in today's standards. But all the bikes back then were kind of homely. But she's a project. Maybe. Out of curiosity, I want to pull heads off it. Squirt some oil, see if I can't get her to actually spin over. But there's a lot of parts missing. Well, not a lot, but too many for what you had. I think even, you know, even in really good shape, if it was in perfect shape, it's like maybe a $600 to $800 motorcycle. You know, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But there's a lot of parts here. You know, if I could throw one together, get another one and put two of them together and make a working bike, you know, then I'll bother. But someday I'll have to, if we get that Super Hawk running, give you a look at that. Kind of nice. You know, like I say, kind of a sporty bike. And he was glad to get it for that price, you know, because the old Hondas are just, any old motorcycles are getting really hard to buy at a reasonable price. You know, you luck into something like this, but it takes 2 or 3 of these to make a decent one out of them. But there's, you know, it's worth the $30. You can't go wrong with that.